Now at 10, President Trump announces his pick for a new Supreme Court justice. Do you approve?
Because him coming into my life.
She promised the officer who saved her life as a child she'd wear the badge one day. Well, she's all grown up and kept her promise. And what's a dog doing swimming way out in Galveston Bay? We're hearing from the kayaker who saved the animal. New tonight, the wife of the man who drives this truck with the offensive sign targeting President Trump is furious after her husband was arrested. The couple made headlines last year after driving around with that sign in Fort Bend County. The husband was arrested for outstanding warrants and resisting arrest. Larry Seward talked to the wife tonight in Sugar Land. Larry?
Karen Fonseca admits her husband Miguel had warrants and had fines that he needed to pay. But how and why Sugar Land police towed the couple's pickup truck ticks her off.
That pickup Stafford mom Karen Fonseca drives, stickers swearing at President Trump and Fort Bend County Sheriff Troy Nils.
Sugar Land Police Department
is about to get new names.
They wanted to be assholes to me.
Sugar Land police arrested her husband Miguel Sunday for unpaid traffic tickets and court-skipping warrants. They say he also resisted arrest. When pulled over, he refused to get out his truck.
He was not resisting.
While on the phone with his wife, giving directions for her to pick up their family's only ride.
And I heard him on the line. They tried pulling him out of the car because he wouldn't turn the phone off. They didn't want me to come pick up that truck.
Karen Fonseca says officers refused to let her drive it home.
White people, over, left and right.
And towed it, all because of her stickers.
It's all fishy the way it all took place.
But Sugar Land police say the truck is in her husband's name, and with him in jail, they had no choice. And until Fonseca pays his $1,000 fine, he'll sit in jail. His wife feels wronged and plans to file complaints.
I've got a big mouth and won't shut up.
Even with her Free Miguel GoFundMe page collecting more insults than donations.
I'm not backing down. I'm not backing down from anybody.
She wears hate like a badge and promised new insulting stickers.
They're going on here too, and some magnets here.
On her truck's side windows and doors, calling out Sugar Land police and all 3 officers involved.
I want people to know that they can't get away with what they do.
A message she wants everyone to see.
Now, overnight, Miguel Fonseca will bond out of Fort Bend County's jail, only to be put back in jail in Sugar Land this time in the morning. A judge here will decide with time served how much Fonseca needs to pay to get his freedom. We are live in Sugar Land tonight. Larry Seward, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Larry, thanks. Breaking news tonight. An elderly woman was found stabbed to death in her home in Humble. Detectives just told us that a family member, Gary Jenkins, is a person of interest. Jenkins had been staying with the woman and was already wanted on a parole violation. Police are still looking for him. The 79-year-old woman was found this afternoon on Audubon Forest near Mesa Drive. Detectives now combing through home surveillance video. We'll update you as soon as we get more information. Well, tonight the wait is over. Here is President Trump's nominee to become the next U.S. Supreme Court Justice. And we'd like to get your take, so get your phones and vote on our KHOU 11 News app.
Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to announce that I will nominate Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court.
Judge Kavanaugh is from Maryland, and here's what we know about him. He is 53 years old, married with 2 daughters, got his law degree at Yale. He has been on the D.C. Circuit Court since 2006. If confirmed, he'll fill the seat of a retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy, for whom Kavanaugh was a clerk after graduating from law school.
If confirmed by the Senate, I will keep an open mind in every case, and I will always strive to preserve the Constitution of the United States and the American rule of law.
Top Democrats feared President Trump's pick would put abortion rights at risk. But during Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing for the appeals court in 2006, he said he considered Roe v. Wade settled law and would not try to change it. The Senate is expected to vote on Kavanaugh's nomination in the fall. So here's your chance to weigh in. What do you think? Do you like the president's pick? We are asking in our informal poll. You can see the early votes coming in. Most of you, 73%, say you like the pick. Thanks to all of you who have voted so far. We'll have much more reaction on KHOU 11 News this morning, starting at 4:30. Right now, crews are starting day 3 of a dangerous rescue mission in that flooded cave in Thailand. 13 members of a youth soccer team had been trapped inside the cave for about 2 weeks. 8 of the boys have been rescued, leaving 4 left inside along with their coach. It is already Tuesday in Thailand, meaning it's possible the rest could be out by the end of the day. Now, here's how this dangerous rescue mission works. Each of the boys is wearing a dive mask as they enter the murky water. Very difficult to see. The children can barely see in front of them. They are led by a diver who is carrying their oxygen tank and guided by a rope. Another diver follows behind them. The entire journey covers 2.5 miles through deep water and steep climbs. The biggest concern, right there, a pinch point in the cave just 15 inches across. That's where the boys have to separate from the divers in order to reach a small patch of dry land before going back into the water. We'll keep a close eye on this and bring you updates online and on air as new developments come in. We are hoping for the best. Let's jump outside. A clear night after another day of heavy thunderstorms. Brooks, in for David tonight. Is the rain gone for the week? Please tell me yes.
I wish I could say yes, I wish. It looks like for the most part it's gone, but we may still have a couple isolated storms before the week's out. Certainly for tonight we're done. Just got some remnant high wispy clouds from earlier thunderstorms. For the night tonight, look for dry conditions tomorrow morning. Nothing more than a couple sprinkles, northwest side, weak disturbance. But during the afternoon, we're going to be hard-pressed to find anything. Huge change thanks to a ridge of high pressure nosing into the region that'll clear the decks for a day or so. 83 now, still in Sugar Land, 77 Bush, 74 Conroe. Cooling off. We're going to see temperatures about 88 degrees by lunchtime tomorrow, 30% chance for a storm, 92 during the afternoon. Coming up, we'll track some tropical systems, Len. Nothing threatening us, but very interesting to track.
Yeah, some good news there, thanks. Now for a look at some other top stories we are following tonight. The historic downtown building where the Spaghetti Warehouse restaurant used to be has a new owner. The restaurant has been closed ever since it flooded during Harvey. Most of the kitchen equipment and antique furniture auctioned off. A spokesperson for the new owners telling the Chronicle they plan to develop something in the historic building but aren't saying exactly what that is yet. In Wharton County tonight, all lanes of Highway 59 finally back open after 2 big rigs collided this morning. Look at this. A viewer, Brittany Holmes, captured the video of a tanker truck going up in flames. Those rigs collided in the southbound lanes between Kindleton and Hungerford. Both drivers made it out safely. Investigators still haven't told us tonight the cause of that crash. In Galveston County, 2 13-year-old boys accused of causing thousands of dollars in damage at Friendswood High School. Police say there are photos of the boys in action during the 4th of July holiday. They reportedly sprayed fire extinguishers all over the building, causing $7,600 in damage. Both boys tonight charged with criminal mischief. A new class of officers will soon start patrolling the streets of Galveston. Among them, a 29-year-old single mother who made a promise 2 decades ago to wear a badge. Tonight, Brett Buffington tells us why she made that promise.
This story starts with pictures. A young girl, her 2 brothers, in Kansas City. Not a single one with their single mom.
We lived on the streets, we lived at people's houses. My mom would be gone for days doing drugs.
It wasn't the best of neighborhoods, not the easiest start to a life. But today, this is Officer Kaylin Scales, soon to be on patrol, thanks to another policeman and his promise.
I really feel like he's my guardian angel and hero.
It's a dark memory, the 911 call about her mom's drug problem that connected her and this man. He's Kansas City Police Sergeant Jeff Colvin, and for weeks after he answered that call, he came back to check on a scared 9-year-old little girl. He promised Kaylin he'd do that every day.
I told him, I was like, I want to be a police officer, I want to be like you, and he was like, well, if you want that, the first thing you have to do is protect your family, make sure that they're okay, and do really good in school.
Good advice, not all this Kansas City cop had to give. He knew the address the night he heard this on his radio.
It was a DFS call when it came out, recognized the address, and went over there to help with the investigation and found her in that poor state.
Kaylin says it was this sergeant who got her to the hospital. There, doctors said she was so malnourished she was barely alive. After almost a month of care, the state got involved. The visits with her favorite officer stopped. Adopted, Kaylin and her two brothers ended up in Galveston County. It wasn't until just 2 years ago these two reconnected.
Told me that I was the only positive influence or only person that really seemed to care when she was a child.
So 2 months ago, when Kaylin graduated, becoming a Galveston police officer, she insisted that Sergeant Jeff Colvin be there to pin on her badge. He doesn't feel like a hero.
I'm not sure I saved her life.
Contradicted by his own statistics.
Most people would look at her and look at her 9-year-old self and basically write her off and say, well, this girl doesn't have a chance in the world.
What advice from one cop to another.
What a story. That's Brett Buffington reporting. Officer Scales says she hopes to be able to work one-on-one with kids who are growing up like she did. Tomorrow is the deadline to reunite the youngest children separated from their parents at the border, while the government says some children will have to wait a little while longer. A shocking sight in Galveston Bay, a dog swimming far from shore. How it got there and who saved it. And Texans love their Whataburger and Shiner, so are the two really coming together?
At KHOU, we are on a mission to help Harvey victims who are still struggling and feel forgotten. This family's home was left in shambles, then issues with a contractor left them separated. Hear their story and find out how you can help. Tomorrow on KHOU 11 News This Morning.
This portion of the news is brought to you by ABC Home and Commercial Services.
Summer's calling. The 2018 Cadillacs are ready to move. Our best offers on 2018 models are here. Join us for the Made to Move sales event. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $2,000 down payment assistance from Finance through GM Financial on most 2018 models.
Have you heard of the BOGO plan from JEXA Energy? You'll get 50% off your energy charges every month. Is that a great deal or what?
Switch your electricity plan to the JEXA BOGO plan today. Call 855-GOT-JEXA or visit JEXAenergy.com.
Many have been writing and asking, why would IBEW weigh in on immigration? Nothing is further from the truth. We love all people trying to become citizens of this great nation. What we are weighing on is our industry. Too many do not follow job site rules or follow building protocols. We're penalized at bid time for following the rules. We want people to know the electricians of the IBEW are committed to building things the right way. Skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor doesn't follow the rules.
Sweat the details. It's what you do when the thing you're making isn't a thing. It's your reputation. The all-new Ram 1500. Comfortably the most luxurious truck in its class, and why more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
Now get an average $13,300 in total values on the 2018 Ram 1500. And Texas residents get these additional offers.
I'm just so excited about the BOGO plan from JEXA Energy. 50% off your energy charges every month? I can't wait to tell people.
I'm pretty sure you just did.
Switch your electricity plan to the JEXA BOGO plan today. Call 855-GOT-JEXA or visit JEXAenergy.com.
It's no surprise the world champions are staying right here in Houston. Today, the Harris County Houston Sports Authority extending the Astros lease to play at Minute Maid Park. But do you know how much the Astros pay to play there? And how does that compare to our other teams? Running the numbers, here's Jason Bristol.
How much does your favorite team pay to play here? Listen, not many people know this, so we did some digging and looked at the stadium lease agreements. It's all public information. First, let's set the landlord. It's the Harris County Houston Sports Authority. That's the entity which oversees our stadiums and arenas. Now, the rent money. We're going to start with the world champs, which today had their lease extended through the year 2050. Now, the Astros had been paying $3.4 million a year in rent. As part of this new agreement, though, that rate is increasing $1 million to $4.4 million for the next 12 years. Up next, the Texans. They're actually in the same neighborhood as the Astros. They pay a little more than $4 million a year to play at NRG. The highest rent here belongs to the Rockets to use Toyota Center. They're at $5.4 million. And the lowest rent, the Dynamo, its rent is just $65,000, but there's a reason for that. It paid to build BBVA Compass Stadium, $76 million reportedly. So the next time you go to a game, you'll now know how much your team pays to play in Houston.
All right, thank you, sir. Developing tonight, more than 50 immigrant children who were separated from their parents at the border will be reunited by tomorrow. Those children are under the age of 5. A federal judge ordered all 102 kids in that category reunited, but the Justice Department says only half of them will make the deadline. Here are the reasons. Some parents already have been deported and others cannot be found. It's not clear where the families will go. All of the family detention centers are at or near capacity.
We have asked that they give us notice of the time and place of those reunifications so that we can have NGOs and faith-based groups meet the family who are going to be released from prison.
A judge set the deadline to reunite all of them with their parents by July 26. It is a long-held American tradition, putting up portraits of American presidents and then updating them with each new administration. But here's the question. Is there a law that requires it? It is a question a viewer asked after noticing that President Obama's photo was still hanging in a Houston building. Jessica Borg is here now with the answer.
The practice of changing over presidential portraits from one administration to the next began after the Civil War. Is it required? Well, we turn to the U.S. General Services Administration, the GSA, to verify our viewer's question. He asked us, do government agencies have to display a picture of the current president on their walls? The simple answer is no, says the Office of Strategic Communication for GSA, an independent agency of the U.S. government that helps manage federal agencies. Its response? There is no regulation that specifies that federal agencies must display portraits of the sitting president and vice president in the space they occupy. However, GSA displays portraits of the president and vice president in the public areas of the buildings that GSA owns and operates, including locations leased by GSA, where the building is fully occupied by the federal government. Now, fully occupied is an important distinction here. Our viewer said a few months ago he noticed that in the IRS office located in this building in Greenspoint, a portrait of former President Barack Obama was still hanging instead of the portrait of the sitting president, Donald Trump. KHOU can confirm that currently President Trump's portrait is hanging in that office. It's important to note that this building is not fully occupied by the federal government and is shared with private companies. So in general, why might there be a delay in hanging a presidential portrait? It depends on when the U.S. government Publishing Office, the GPO, receives the portraits from the White House and is able to produce and distribute them. They get distributed to more than 1,600 federal buildings and military facilities. They're also available for private sale. The White House did not release President Trump's portrait until the end of October 2017, nearly 10 months after he took office. That's delayed compared to his predecessors. And a side note, the GSA says in the buildings it does operate, the portraits of the previous administration, President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, were taken down January 20th, 2017, the day the current administration took over. So we can confirm that although there's no law in the books requiring that these portraits be hung, it is a time-honored tradition. Jessica Borg, KHOU 11 News.
And if there's something you'd like us to verify, send us an email to verify@khou.com. Also reach us on our Facebook page or Twitter using the hashtag KHOUverify. This got a lot of people's hopes up. A photo suggesting Whataburger Shiner is coming to a Whataburger near you. showed up on Reddit over the weekend, quickly went viral. Shiner tells the Houston Chronicle, while they love Whataburger, this beer isn't happening. I got it. Only wishful thinking here. All right, let's talk about the forecast. And you have a time lapse of Minute Maid Park tonight.
Yes, we can watch all the plays right here. Oh, you can't see the plays. It's behind the roof because they closed the roof.
Yeah.
That's right. But no, yeah, we had a pretty wild day today. Heavy rains followed by bright, steamy sunshine tonight. Mostly clear, just a few high clouds on the north side. But tomorrow we do it all over again, but not as much rain. In fact, the rain won't really start forming till maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So here's a look at future track. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, looks like a clear start. Can't rule out a stray downpour far north, and then during the afternoon with the sea breeze interacting with all that steamy sunshine. I mean, it is going to be Everglades hot tomorrow, Amazon basin hot. Pick your jungle, pick your tropical latitude. That's how it's going to feel. We're going to see those clouds bubbling up and downpours soon to follow, but as the sun sets, those downpours will go away. Right now it's 77 at Houston, 80 Richmond, Rosenberg, 82 in Katy, 74 Conroe, Webster checking in with 76 degrees this evening. 2 tropical systems to track. Thankfully, none affecting us. First off, Chris, this soon to be a hurricane, and Beryl. This is the remnants of a hurricane, but it could redevelop. First off with Chris, this thing is looking good on satellite. Thankfully, no direct impacts to U.S. land is expected, although I wouldn't be surprised if this was a hurricane by tomorrow morning. It's already quite obviously forming an eye. I mean, look at that thing. So at this point, it's got winds of 70 miles an hour. It is forecast to become a hurricane tomorrow. Cat 1, this would be the second hurricane of the 2018 season, and then it peels out to sea, producing big waves, good surf, but a high rip current risk for the East Coast. Now, the other storm in question, this is Beryl, or the remnants of. Hurricane Center says it's got a moderate chance of developing into a hurricane, or at least a tropical system over the next couple of days. That would be interesting to track, but again, stays out of the Gulf. We're good to go. In fact, the same force keeping these systems away, high pressure producing an intense heat wave across most of the country, and also will start to push the storm track farther south. So we're going to see less of a storm chance as systems rotate around this ridge, especially once we get toward next weekend. So we will still have a storm chance, but it won't be quite as high as we've seen in days past, certainly not like this past day. So tomorrow, a 30% chance of storms, high of 92 degrees after a morning low of 76. Then we'll see about a 20% chance. That's it right through the weekend, but Lynn, it's going to come at a cost. We're talking about mid-90s through and through. Boy, we are talking about a real hot forecast. So coming up, we'll take a look at our wake-up weather. Lynn, back to you.
All right, the rain goes away, the temperatures go up. A kayaker makes an alarming discovery after spotting a dog swimming in Galveston Bay. How the black lab found herself way out in the water and how the kayaker saved her. Next.
VisitHouston.com. Check out visithouston.com/summerfun for packages.
Is there really such a thing as too much of a good thing? Because summer is here, and you deserve to stay a little longer. Baja Mar Summer Spectacular. Book 3 nights and the 4th is free.
At KHOU 11, we stand for Houston, and that means standing for the truth.
We're going to talk about a few things our viewers keep asking us about. So we want to make sure you know exactly what he's saying.
Verify. Only on KHOU 11 News.
CashNetUSA.com, man. I help when money's tight. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow. Ha! Ha!
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Check out the new leather collections at Rooms to Go. Amazing selection and something for everyone. Great looks, great styles, and of course, great prices. Only at Rooms to Go.
Hello? Do you speak insurance? Yes, Standard Insurance is fluent in the needs of their policyholders. Standard offers experience, knowledge, strength, and stability while providing the best rates possible for your car and home insurance. While other companies provide insurance, we provide confidence. Confidence that Standard will always be there when you need us. Reach us at one of our 18 branches, online, or by phone, but call today. Don't delay. Call Standard today.
Don't delay. Call Standard today.
Mine's way better.
This one's below market price and has Bluetooth. Same here, but this one has leather seats.
Use the Cars.com app to compare price, features, and value.
You know, when you take a kayak out in Galveston Bay, you usually expect to see things like fish. But this visitor from Austin found a dog swimming way out in the bay. So what was the dog doing so far out? Kaylin Norwood caught up with the kayaker and the dog's owner in Austin tonight.
Jeremy Van Pelt is no stranger to the water.
But I try to get down there as much as possible.
He says he often travels from Austin to Galveston Bay to go fly fishing. But Sunday, he caught much more than he bargained for.
I was scanning the water horizon for fish that I could track down with my kayak, and lo and behold, I saw something in the distance.
It wasn't a fish, it was a dog swimming far, far away from shore.
At first I was shocked that someone's dog was out in West Bay swimming by itself with no visible people around.
And right then and there, he knew what he needed to do.
Hop in the boat, yeah, hop in the boat. Come on.
He scooped the Labrador up on his kayak and called the number on her collar. The story left her owner in shock.
It was just unbelievable. Can't believe that she was out in the middle of the bay. There were so many things that could have happened to her.
Krista White says the 9-year-old lab named Grace must have gone looking for her husband, who went out to fish during their weekend getaway. And now they're just grateful this fly fisherman was there to reel her in.
It's definitely, according to my kiddos, the most exciting thing I've ever caught out in Galveston Bay.
Come on.
Kayla Norwood, KHOU 11 News.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness a kayaker showed up and got the dog. Coming up, straightforward advice from an outfielder that he has for his fans after hundreds showed up for him at a Whataburger.
Nights and weekends are never a concern when you need service from ABC Home and Commercial Services. If you need emergency service for your heating or air conditioning, call the ABC helpline and we'll make sure you're on the schedule right away. Search for us at abchomeandcommercial.com.
Few others on Earth can rival the strength of an ant relative to its size. Until now, the new 2018 GMC Terrain has arrived.